Alright, it's Jade again. Um, I'm on the terrace at the Austin Orchestra, Symphony Orchestra. And I just listened to three different pieces, but the one that I'm going to talk about tonight is the Piano Concerto by Aram Khachaturian. So it's called Piano Concerto in D flat major, opus 38. It was composed in Moscow, Russia in 1936 at the conservatory now officially known as the Tchaikovsky Moscow State Conservatory. The artist is Aram Khachaturian, and he's an Armenian composer born in Tbilisi, Georgia, which is the republic, not the US state. And the medium of work is sound, and the period of this piece is 20th century. So it's 20th century classical music. The historical relevance of this work is that it was the first of Khachaturian's works to bring him recognition to the West, which I think is important because this piece, like much of his other music, has Armenian folklore elements that may not have gotten as much representation up until this point. How long did it take to create? I couldn't find the exact period of time it took to write this piece, but he composed it in 1936, sometime during the 2 years of graduate work that he did at the conservatory. The defining characteristics of his work: it's a piano concerto, which usually has three movements that go from fast to slow to fast again. The recording that I watched or listened to beforehand, all of the movements were pretty fast, but this one, at least this orchestra, this symphony orchestra, they went out of their way to make the second movement really slow. So it was pretty andante. Out of the three movements, the second one does not have a cadenza. The cadenza is, I think, pretty much like a solo piece that you hear towards the end of the movement. And of course, the piece has Armenian folklore elements scattered throughout. Khachaturian is well known, is probably most well known for his saber dance, which you've probably heard playing in like a fast-paced scene in an early cartoon or something. It has the same energy as the Flight of the Bumblebee. I chose this work because it was the most interesting during the concert, at least to me. There was another piece by Stravinsky. It was the Circus Polka that he wrote for like some ballerinas and elephants. And the one after this concerto was, I think, the number 5 Symphony by Tchaikovsky. But this is the one that I found most interesting because it's dramatic, it's erratic, it's abrupt, it's fast. I loved everything about it. I'm sure there's like a greater meaning behind the music than just the beeps and boops, but to me it was just exhilarating to listen to. So one fun fact is that this piece features many instruments, including the most interesting one is the flexitone. So the flexitone is this trippy, dizzying sound to it. You basically like hold on to it with your dominant hand and like shake it around, and it creates this lilting sound. The composer's preference for the second movement was a musical saw, but flexitone is actually what is written in the score. So in most recordings and most performances of the second movement, there's a flexitone. And actually, the conductor for this symphony orchestra, his name is Peter Bay. He actually went out of his way to tell us that yes, in this performance, they did have someone play the flexitone in the second movement. It happens somewhere in the middle. There's like some desert sounding music in the middle where he plays it. So something I found pretty funny is that the flexitone is most popular for its inclusion in the GTA opening theme song, the Grand Theft Auto opening theme song. It's quite a trippy, dizzying sound that it makes, and yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So that's my fun fact. This is my second time coming to an orchestra performance. My first time was in Carnegie Hall 2 years ago. It was just amazing to me. I don't really have much to comment, but I think it's beautiful. The orchestra is like a live animal. The way all of the bows are like moving in unison and everything, it's just really cool. So I'm glad I came here. Yeah, yes.